What's up, man? Yeah, it's been a minute. Had you know, sometimes I take breaks from everything and everybody. It just be like that. You dig? Part of my self-care regimen. Anyway, man, my content's for educational purposes only. I can't stress enough for all you guys to do your own research. I praise this content and the errors you find thrown in the comments. None of us have been alive long enough to know all that transpired in the past, and none of us can live long enough to know all there is to learn. Here lately, man, on whether you on social media, looking at TV, something I don't do, but I can just imagine, every time you turn around, the fear mongering is at an all-time high. Well, you know, this is about to happen, or, the worst thing for Americans since such and such, and so on and so forth, all that shit. Again, all this shit is relative to those that are in a position of power. And like I said on the previous post, who have coveted, the ancient knowledge for centuries via their progeny and insiders that may not be family in their camps, whatever. They've held on to and turned said knowledge into occult knowledge, and they use it on us. Same way, they turned every one of us into a corporate person at the time of our birth. When the first SS5 form was filled out, excuse me, for each and every one of us, I just came on here tonight to let all of y'all know something. When you hear these agents talking about all the stuff I just mentioned, well, the worst circumstances since such and such. If you want to protect yourself from this, that, and the third, register for this, or, all that nonsense. Let me explain something to y'all real fast. Excuse me. All that shit really directly applies to the corporation. What we're witnessing is, for those of y'all who've seen Whitey Bulger, y'all remember that scene where they had, the young girl, and they went to the house. Him and the other boy went to the house after they got her out of the jail. And no, that ain't the scene. The scene I'm talking about is where they had the bull when they was sending the guns on the boats, and they was dealing with the snitch dude. When they caught up with him and had him in the basement, and they put that bag over his head, and boy, when I tell you I fell out first time I seen that scene. When they had that motherfucker in that chair, man. And he farted like a motherfucker. He probably shit on himself and everything trying to get loose. Well, that's what you're witnessing right now. The corporate United States is in the throngs of death. And because we've been frauded, because ain't near one of the 7 elements that compile a legally binding contract were present when they created our corporate person. See, I'm not a person, I have a person. If you've never heard that, that should make a little sense to you. You know, because if you look in a regular Webster's dictionary, the definition of a person is one thing. You look in a legal dictionary, the definition of a person is something completely and totally different. The corporate person known as the United States government. Right now they're kicking, scratching, farting, and shitting, trying to evade the inevitable. And what they do, you see what I'm saying, to induce fear, panic, and or stress. You know, they want you in a state of fear or anything close to that vibration, whereas though you're paying the bullshit that they really worrying about in and of themselves. You'll be paying that shit attention, thereby giving your power over to it. And that's the reason why I came on here this evening. You know, because a lot of people, you know, and I'm no different. You know, I just really uncovered a lot of shit within the last 18 months. But the bottom line to the message I came on here to dispense is, do not, when you hear, whether it be on social media or the news broadcasting system, well, you know, this, that, and the third. Nah, that shit don't really, don't get it fucked up. There are certain prerequisite preparations that should be taken by all of us, especially for those of us that haven't taken any measures to secure our person. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Earlier in the video, I said, I'm not a person, I have a person. And your person exists on paper, the two formerly known as the most important two documents you have, Social Security card and birth certificate. They make up your corporate person. So if you're like me, you know, I can't say me no more. It's a little different for me now. But if you're like a lot of us and you solely depend on the privileges and the gratuities that you get for pledging your allegiance to the corporation, i.e., the USA, the United States government, odds are you're really not prepared and you have yet to secure your person. So based on that, yeah, I mean, you know, you may have to pay a little more attention than others of us. But at the end of the day, do not succumb to the fear mongering. You know, prior to 1933 or 35, whichever year it really flipped. I know it's on paper, but I wasn't alive then to know when it really flipped. Bridges and roads were being built and paved. Things were being done. Streets got clean, trash got picked up, all that. Wasn't no taxes. You had property in allodial. Once you paid for that property, you got title to that property. Wasn't no property tax. So this is basically to give clarity on a few points. And if you watch, if you're on any of the social media platforms, it ain't just my channel. I share a lot of informative information only because based on my studies from 97 up to now, I've come across a lot of shit. And it seemed way out for me at first too. But as I paid attention to the things that I was reading and information that I was coming across, things started happening in the world that lined directly up, superimposed itself onto the things that I've read. So I dialed in even more. And I became less and less susceptible to the distractions that they lay out in front of us. So that's what this is basically a ploy for. To get whoever's watching this to start paying attention, man. Start picking up books. Start informing yourself and educating yourself. Pardon me. Excuse me, y'all. Because the fact of the matter is, they haven't educated us. They've informed us quite literally of what they want us to know and regurgitate. And adopt the mindset of said information that they fed us. So in conclusion, man, understand that they're talking about the corporate United States, the falling of the corporate United States, as we know it anyway. A lot of the things that, we in the Aquarian age, the I know age, the revealing age, the revolution, not the revolution, but the revelation. All things hidden coming to the surface, into the light. So just know more, man. Be informed, man. Don't take that garbage that they feeding you and make it your truth, because that's basically it's a form of induction. When they hypnotize you, with the pendulum and all that shit, they doing that shit. They doing that shit, dog. I'm pardon my French. They doing that though. That's basically what they doing. And for those of you who think I'm crazy, research your government programs. Not just COINTELPRO, not just Bluebeam, not just, I forget the other name, couple other names, but just start researching the government programs and the declassified documents that the CIA, the NSA, and all of those other alphabet agencies release to the open public. And you'll see that a lot of the shit that you either see in movies, hear people like me tell you all about, and you think that the shit's a game or the motherfucker done went crazy. Research that stuff, and you'll find out that truth is actually stranger than fiction. So with that being stated, man, I just, like I said, I just wanted to put that out there. Accept or reject it. Take it or leave it. But that's my piece, man, and that's my time. I'm out. Y'all be easy.